We all know that apparently clear diamonds are a girl's best friend. The problem is they can just be so expensive to buy. As it turns out though, they aren't the most expensive gemstones out there. Other diamonds and gemstones take that title. From a stone found in just one place on Earth to one costing millions per carat, here are 15 gemstones more expensive than diamonds. Herkimer Diamonds. Herkimer diamonds get their name from the doubly terminated quartz crystals found in Herkimer County, New York.
From Paradise Falls, Middleville, New York.
They take on the traditional hexagon form of quartz, but they don't have one termination on the end. Instead, they have two. This is caused by the crystals growing with minimal or no contact with their host rock. Such crystals, or Herkimer diamonds, are so rare because they're just crazy creations of nature. As a result, they're both costly to buy and popular with mineral collectors. You can imagine just how much their desirability drives up the price tag. The host rocks for Herkimer diamonds are Little Falls Dolostone from the Cambrian Age. The Dolostone was deposited about 500 million years ago, and the Herkimer diamonds formed within the Dolostone's cavities. Even though they're named after New York's Herkimer County, these particular diamonds are also found in Arizona, Ukraine, Norway, China, and Afghanistan. So if you have no luck looking for them under the name Herkimer, you might be able to search for them as Middleville Diamond or Little Falls Diamond. Grandidierite. If you thought grandidierite was hard enough to say, then you'll be shocked when I tell you they're also hard enough to get your hands on. These precious stones are incredibly rare, so you won't know too many people who have had jewelry made from them. Grandidierite is a blue-green gemstone that differs in color depending on the iron content. The more blue it has, the higher the iron levels. It's suitable for use in jewelry, but it's also incredibly difficult to cut because it has good cleavage in two directions, according to the International Gem Society. The gemstone was first discovered by French mineralogist Alfred Lacroix in 1902 in the cliffs of André-Hamana in the southern part of Madagascar. Alfred named the stone grandidierite after French explorer and naturalist Alfred Grandidier. He was the first explorer to describe Madagascar in great detail. Since its discovery in Madagascar, grandidierite has also been found in Norway, Suriname, Algeria, Antarctica, New Zealand, the Czech Republic, India, Italy, Malawi, Canada, and the United States. Even though it's present in all these countries and continents, it is extremely rare, and only small pockets have ever been found. Tanzanite. Tanzanite is an incredibly rare and incredibly beautiful stone only found in a small mining area near the Mariani Hills in Tanzania. It belongs to the epidote mineral group and consists of stunning blue and violet coloring caused by the zoisite mineral and small volumes of vanadium. It was formed during the mid-Ediacaran period about 585 million years ago by plate tectonic activity and heat in the area around Mount Kilimanjaro. Depending on how you turn the stone, you can note shades of blue, burgundy, and violet. It looks even more violet when viewed under fluorescent lighting. When it's in its rough state, it's more of a reddish-brown color with some clearness. Heat treatment removes that brown exterior to bring out the blue and violet hidden within. Tiffany & Co. came up with the name Tanzanite, naming it after the country in which it was discovered. Tiffany & Co. introduced it to the market in 1968 and didn't think blue-violet zoisite was going to be all that consumer-friendly in their marketing department. In 2002, Tanzanite was chosen as the December birthstone, a decision made by the American Gem Trade Association. Muscovite. Looking at muscovite, it doesn't look all that much different from your standard clear diamond. However, aside from a few features, the price tag is definitely what sets this striking stone apart. It is so rare that even in rough form, it can sell for $35,000 a carat. Now that is insane. The rare oxide mineral is used as a gemstone and comes from the Ernabella Mission in South Australia's Musgrove Ranges. It's a gray-green to green stone that appears transparent and comes from the taphite family of minerals. In fact, the optical and physical properties of taphite and muscovite are incredibly similar, so much so that only experts with high-tech equipment can really tell one stone apart from the other. However, given that it's only available in select locations, most experts know what they are looking at when they discover it. Muscovite has been found in South Australia, Antarctica, and northeast Greenland. There have also been limited finds in Tanzania and Burma. Now you know why you'll likely never get your hands on muscovite. Even some of the most distinguished gemstone experts still haven't. The Bahia Emerald. The Bahia Emerald, to most gem experts, is like the holy grail of emeralds. It's one of the largest emeralds in existence and has the single largest shard ever found. The Bahia Emerald comes from Bahia in Brazil and weighs around 752 pounds or 341 kilograms. It also contains about 1.7 million carats. It's been valued at around $400 million, but its actual value's not all that clear. You'd think that an emerald of this value would be locked away in some secure vault in the mountains, but it doesn't seem that way. It was almost lost during Hurricane Katrina after it was stored in a warehouse in New Orleans. It was then reported stolen in 2008 from a secure vault in South El Monte, Los Angeles County in California. Fortunately, it was located and ownership has been settled. The Bahia Emerald was mined in the Beryl mines of Brazil in 2001 and was moved from Brazil to the US. Many attempts to sell it were unsuccessful and there were conflicting claims about ownership. A gem dealer in Las Vegas seized it and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department took over custody. After a court case, FM Holdings LLC was deemed the owner after lawful transactions. The Pink Star Diamond. With an estimated value of about $71.2 million, the Pink Star Diamond, formerly known as Steinmetz Pink, is as desirable as they come. But it might not be so much the quality of the diamond, but the color that makes buyers so interested. The Pink Star is a 59.60 carat diamond that has been rated in color by the Gemological Institute of America as Fancy Vivid Pink. It is the largest known diamond like it to have been rated this color, which makes it incredibly rare. Even the cut is interesting. When De Beers mined it in South Africa in 1999, it weighed 132.5 carats. After 20 months of cutting, it was finally unveiled to the public in 2003 in Monaco. The diamond formed part of the Splendor of Diamonds exhibit and sat alongside other stunning diamonds like the Moussaïef Red Diamond and the Heart of Eternity Diamond. It was auctioned at Sotheby's Geneva in 2013 and sold for just over $83 million. This was a world record for any gemstone. However, apparently the buyer never settled and it was added back to Sotheby's inventory. It ended up selling at an auction in Hong Kong for $71.2 million. Serendipite. In 1997, a beautiful new emerald-cut gemstone was discovered, the Serendipite. It weighed 0.35 carats, and the GIA laboratory identified it as a Serendipite of gem quality. It officially became the first faceted Serendipite recorded in all gemological literature. So, needless to say, it was a momentous occasion. The mineral is found in metamorphic rocks called skarns, associated with boron metasomatism of carbonate rocks intruded by granite. Even though they look like ziacite and sapphire, their refractive indices give them away as serendipite. The name of the gemstone comes from the old Arab name for Ceylon, which is now Sri Lanka. It was recognized as the locality for the mineral. It's bluish green, has a vitreous luster, and measures 7 on the hardness scale. It's also transparent with reasonable refractive indices, but can also be quite a black crystal. Even as we learn more about serendipite, what doesn't change is its rarity. It's so rare that most people won't see this mineral in person. Putting a value on it's pretty tricky, but its rarity does make it one of the most expensive gemstones and minerals in the world. It's valued at around $18,000 per carat. Benitoite. Some gemstones and minerals are incredibly rare and expensive, but they aren't what you would call attractive. That is not the case with benitoite. Not only is it rare, it's also probably the most attractive out of all those rare minerals having been discovered so far. It's a rich blue stone with hexagonal shaping, but can also be white, colorless, purple, or pink. It's ideal for use in jewelry and has been used in rings, necklaces, and more. Although, you'd have to be pretty rich to buy something with benitoite in it. It was declared California's state gem in 1985 after it was discovered there in 1907. It's only been found occasionally ever since. In fact, it's so rare that gem cutters don't actually try and produce the best cut. Instead, they're looking to make the largest cut, so the proportions don't tend to be as optimal as other more common gemstones. Surprisingly, when you heat benitoite, any colorless gems can go from clear to orange. You can then start to notice hints of pink. However, heating is not standard practice because some of the inclusions can explode and destroy the gem. Poudreteite. Poudretteite is such a rare mineral and gemstone that most gemstone experts haven't had the pleasure of seeing it up close and personal. When they're given the opportunity, they are amazed. It's a colorless and light pink stone that's quite brittle and barrel-shaped with colorful crystals. It was first discovered in the 1960s in Mont Saint-Hilaire of Quebec in Canada, but hasn't been found in large quantities since. The only other place they've been found is in the Mogok region of northern Myanmar's Shan state. Only 7 crystals were found during its first discovery, and it wasn't actually identified and registered as a new species until around 1986. It gets its name from the Poudrette family, who operated a quarry in the area they were discovered. They aren't the most desirable or expensive gemstones, even though they are pretty rare. This might be due to their brittle nature. Some jewelry websites sell them for under $10,000. On one site, you could purchase a pear-shaped single Poudretteite weighing 1.820 carats and clean to the eye for a little over $5,000. Jeremedjevite. Jeremedjevite is an incredibly unique and rare mineral first described after being found in Siberia in 1883. It's an aluminum borate mineral with fluoride and hydroxide ions and was named after Russian mineralogist Pavel Vladimirovich Iramev when it was discovered in the Adan-Chilon Mountains of Siberia. Since then, it's also been found in the Pamir Mountains of Namibia's Tajikistan and in Germany's Eifel district. The colors of Jeremedjevite are wide-ranging. It can be colorless and white or yellowish to blue, light yellow, brown, and even aquamarine blue in transmitted light. It has a vitreous luster and is a very beautiful mineral when properly cut. It's quite a prized collector's gem, especially as it's quite durable and ideal for jewelry. Any necklace, ring, or bracelet would look stunning with the tapering and elongated crystals of Jeremedjevite. In saying that, it's rarely cut for jewelry since mineral collectors prefer their uncut form. That's not to say this unique and wide-ranging mineral is perfect, though. It can sometimes have many inclusions, like crystals, growth lines, feathers, and fluid-filled fingerprints. For some collectors, that adds to their appeal. Fire Opal. You can define a fire opal as being any opal gemstone with yellow, red, and orange as the dominant colors. Every fire opal differs based on its play of color, background coloring, and origin. They're described as being amorphous mineraloids with hydrated silica, but the opals themselves don't actually have the structural organization required to form crystals. So they aren't minerals, and they aren't technically metamorphic rocks either. All opals are valuable in one way or another, but there's something quite unique and special about fire opals that drive their price up. They often reach high prices on the international gemstone market, with their brilliance, base color, internal play, and translucency dictating how much they're worth. Given how these features can vary so dramatically, you might pay as little as $10 a carat to $10,000 a carat. The market and how much someone's willing to pay can also determine their price. Current events and people very much drive the market. Their rareness can also drive the price up because of how strange their chemical structure can be. When you compare their price to other, more natural opal colors, it's clear to see how much it makes an impact. Blue Diamond. Blue diamonds are real, natural diamonds with blue tones because of boron being present in the carbon structure of the diamond. The blue can be subtle and light, or it can be a deep blue with hints of gray, violet, or green showing through. You might think that blue diamonds are manufactured with their coloring, but they are found that way below the Earth's surface. They are only found in a few mines worldwide, such as the Argyle mine in Australia, India's Golconda mine, and the Cullinan mine in South Africa. Many things determine how much a blue diamond is worth, such as the blue coloring's intensity. Given their rarity, they can also fetch much more on the market than standard white diamonds and even diamonds of other colors. Most blue diamonds fall under the category of Type 2B, which make up about 0.1% of the world's colored diamonds. All blue diamonds are classed as rare, but those with pure colors and without secondary colors like gray, violet, or green are even rarer. Typically, these fetch the most money and are also harder to find. You can spend an average of $15,700 on a 0.3 carat diamond with light blue coloring, but you may spend upwards of $200,000 or even more. Red Diamond. The most expensive gemstone in the world is the red diamond. It's not widely known or recognized, and it can set you back about $1 million each carat. If you're gonna find them anywhere, it'll be in Australia, Africa, and Brazil. But even in these places, coming across red diamonds is almost unheard of. There are only about 30 true gem-quality red diamonds in existence, and most of them weigh less than about half a carat. Given how few red diamonds exist, there are definitely some famous ones out there that cost a pretty penny. For example, the Hancock red diamond weighs about 0.95 carat and is a brilliant round-cut diamond. It's named after a well-known collector, Warren Hancock. The size isn't the most noteworthy thing about this diamond because it's definitely not massive, but its coloring is spectacular. It has a gorgeous purple and red hue. Warren paid $13,500 for the diamond in 1956, and it was sold again in 1987 for $880,000. You could just imagine what it's worth now. I'd imagine in the millions. Painite. Even though painite is not one of the prettiest gemstones in existence, it is undoubtedly one of the rarest. It's for that reason that you'd pay up to $60,000 for a single carat of gem-quality painite. Painite is typically a red-orange color or browny red. It gets its coloring from a small amount of chromium and vanadium. However, the gemstone also contains boron, oxygen, aluminum, zirconium, and calcium. A sample of it was discovered in Burma in the 1950s, and only 2 crystals of the hexagon-shaped mineral were thought to exist. Only 2 faceted gemstones were reported to have existed before 2005. But that all changed after a new northern locality in northern Myanmar was discovered. Several thousand crystals and fragments were found, and several hundred pieces have now been faceted. However, almost complete crystals are still rare, and you can spend tens of thousands of dollars on the smallest of crystals. Poor quality ones are just a few $100s if you ever wanted to get your hands on them, and many people do because they've been used as a chakra opener and for relieving mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical pain. Burma Ruby. Rubies are some of the most popular and traditional jewelry stones. They're durable and pretty much always red, with incredibly saturated coloring. Even though rubies are widespread, they are also expensive. You can pay over $1 million for a single carat if it's of the finest quality. Compared to any other gem, rubies also undergo some of the most intensive treatments. Doing so is clearly worth it because just look at how stunning they are. But Burma rubies are just that little bit more special. They sell for about $1.172 million per carat, and a 25.29 carat Mogok pigeon's blood ruby sold for $30 million. The Burma ruby differs from other rubies for its coloring. It's red and slightly purple red with a medium dark tone and incredibly vivid saturation. They also get called pigeon's blood red. You can also purchase African rubies with orange red coloring, beef blood rubies that are slightly darker than pigeon blood, and French or cherry rubies that are lighter than pigeon's blood. You may also see examples of Thai or Siamese and Ceylon or Sri Lanka rubies for sale.